I got it. Ali Abdaal, Feel Good Productivity, How to Do More Work of What Matters to You. Do more of what matters to you. And I'm pretty much halfway through it to the point that I actually want to talk about it, which is normally not the normal because I will finish a book, let it process and everything. But this is a really, really, really good book. Reason why. One, as the title says, Feel Good Productivity. I like the theme of if you want to do work, if you want to do more work, it's not about the hustle and the grind. It's really just about feeling good, right? Let's start there. That's the first part. It's just about feeling good and finding different energizers to make sure you feel good about it. There's a few things that popped in my head and that really connected with me was one, and of course I always connect it to my brand, which is the path of procrastination, right? When it comes to what I talk about, I feel that people procrastinate either starting a podcast, starting a YouTube channel, even doing content. And there's a few factors that always play a part to be like, oh, damn, yep, I'm on that path, right? So the first one is overestimating, right? You overestimate the negative consequences. So, you know what? I won't get no views, or no one's going to subscribe to no one's going to listen to my podcast. You know, you start thinking about all the negatives than necessarily all the positives. Then the second one is being hypervigilance, right? So becoming overly attentive to signs of success or failure. So now we're looking for the smallest things. Like, see, it didn't happen in the first 2 hours. It's trash. It's horrible, right? Yeah. Then this one was interesting to me, which was unrecognition, which meaning you stop identifying the factors that can contribute to a successful outcome, such as research. So normally where you would get in this habit of looking up certain things, in my case, like certain competitors, and just finding out what works and what doesn't work, I just slack off. And now I'm going with a ignorant mindset of oh, I don't know what's going to work. And then of course avoidance. If all of those other things are in place, I'm just going to put it off. So how he broke down procrastination, I was like, okay, yep, that kind of makes sense. And then another thing that really stood out was, you know how I feel about goals. Not a fan of them. Feels like it limits me, right? And so he talked about these SMART goals that everybody talks about, but he was like, yo, what about nice goals? And I was like, what's that, right? So he talks about it in a sense of ends standing for near term. So that means the immediate steps. So where your SMART goal would be losing 20 pounds in quarter 1 and 2, the nice goal would be doing 10 minutes of exercise every single day. Something that you can do immediately to get to that goal, right? The I is for input based. So it emphasizes the process rather than the distant abstract goal, right? Controllable. So where we will go for those people who are writing books, I'm gonna spend 8 hours writing, every single day, then just making it more controllable of I'm gonna write 20 minutes a day. That I'll do that, right? And then energizing for the E part, where you're integrating play, where you're integrating people. He also has this situation of power, right? So breaking down the nice goals. So having SMART and nice goals, so long-term and short-term goals. I thought that was super fire. And then something that I actually put in place the last week of 2023, which was time blocking. Do you do time blocking?
I do, specifically for the lunch hour now, believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. From a productivity standpoint, I've noticed that, and sorry if I'm interfering with your section here, but I've noticed that.
I asked you.
Yeah. Anytime I work through lunch, I realize I am significantly more tired, fatigued, and not as effective. But if I can just get a lunch between 12 and 2 somehow, it doesn't have to be exactly at 12 or 12:30, just 12 and 2. If I can get a lunch in, I'm good. Because then if I don't get lunch at between 12 and 2, I end up usually eating around 4 or 5. And that's a super late lunch.
Yeah.
Then I have calls at night. And then there's no way I'm going to eat dinner at a decent hour once you eat at 4 and still go to bed at a you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've noticed for me that 12 to 2 hour just to get lunch in, super effective. So just leaving 45 minutes in there to not schedule meetings, calls, or something like that.
I love that. Yeah, I put it in place in the last week of 2023, and I got in 2 days so much more done than I would have done within a week. It was crazy, right? But how he breaks down the time blocking, now I'm going to put that into play because I started it before reading that. So he said there's 3 levels to time blocking. So level 1 is specific tasks that you are avoiding, right? So finding maybe doing this report or exercising or whatever, you're going to go and you're going to time block those specific things, right? Level 2 is pretty much time blocking most of your day. So turning your to-do list into whole time blocking. So 8 to 9, you're going to, check your emails. So 9 to 9:30, you're going to make a quick phone call to your VA, and you're time blocking your whole to-do list, right? And then level 3 is time blocking your ideal week. So this is where we're talking about work, family, hobbies, exercises, relaxation. You're going to now do that. So you can pretty much have a foundation for the week, but every single day, like your calendar is pretty much filled up, and not just of meetings, of just pretty much your whole day, so you can get those notifications. I was like, oh yeah, okay. I see what you did there. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. So, I love the book so far. I believe I'm in chapter 5, and I learned all that in.
That's awesome.
Right, like it's crazy. Really so, go get the book. Ali Abdaal, Feel Good Productivity. Shout out to him. Hopefully, he becomes a bestseller or maybe he already is. I don't know. I didn't really check, but. This is a really, really good book, and I'm excited I actually listening to the audio. I'm listening to the audio and reading it at the same time. I was walking,
nice,
and I don't really suggest it going out on the streets and reading and walking. That's why I do it inside of my complex. People, some people are in my DMs like, "Watch out for the streets." Or you think I'm that dumb? Mm-hmm. You really you think I'm crossing the street with my head down to a book? I know I don't live in New York no more, but I'm not dumb. Don't do that. Don't.
Right.
But
the equivalent of texting and driving. Yeah, no, we feel you.
Like what? Mm-hmm. Granted, it's a lot slower. Like, oh, okay, hold on. I look up. But that's anyways, very, very good. Very, 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 very good book. I can't even talk. It's that good.